All right, let's do this. So this session, we are going to create a very simple web server using Java and Micronaut. And the reason we're doing this is my buddy Chris Benson sent out this tweet just a little bit ago, saying that he built this little project and he used Python, and I'm sorry, Java, that Python was just too easy. Well, I don't read much Python, but this server looks fairly simple. So we're going to recreate it in Micronaut. And to do that, we're going to go to launch.micronaut.io. We're going to generate a project. We're going to add some features. So he has one view. So I'm going to add, timely for the views. And I think that is really it. It looks like he just has some endpoints. The default endpoint returns index.html. There's a candy endpoint that returns JSON, but shame, Chris, you're returning text HTML. That should be application JSON. There's a query endpoint. Not quite sure what that's about just yet. We'll get back to that, of course. And then there's an auto endpoint that he is posting to that sets the speed. Oh, okay. So this returns the speed and this sets the speed. Got it. Then he's got a what to do endpoint that returns the status, which appears to, anyways, we'll figure that out as we go. So we need basically some endpoints and we need a view. So we'll create a Micronaut application using Java 11. We'll call it Candy using the base package codes.recursive. Micronaut 3.1.1 using Java, Gradle, and Spock, and we will generate that. Why don't we take that to the command line and let me clear out some of this junk. And we'll CD into projects, Micronaut demos, and we'll run our create app command. Oops. Getting some silly paste stuff there. Okay, there we go. All right, so if we CD into Candy and we idea build.gradle, we should get this to open up in IntelliJ. Maybe. Looks like I've already got a few windows open here, so let me close out some of those. And we will open. Got like a million windows open here, so hopefully my machine won't start lagging on me. All right, Micronaut, demos, Candy, open. All right, that's going to open up. And it's going to start resolving our dependencies. Once our terminal opens up, we can actually run that app. Shut down some of my other resources here so that we don't get all laggy. Close RDP. Close that. Close that. All right. So you can see here in like 10 seconds, we've got a server running, right? Awesome, no problem. But we need to create a controller. And so we'll look back at Chris's code and we can close out launch.micronaut.io. All right, so it looks like our root path is just slash. So we're going to create a controller. We'll call it default. And open that up. Change that to slash. And all right, so if the path is slash, so our default path, we want to return text.html, we want to return index.html. So the first thing we want to do here is create a directory in resources. In fact, let's take a look at the Micronaut views documentation, just so you could see the docs on using timeleaf. Okay, so we should have that dependency already, views timeleaf, and we do because we specified that with launch. Excellent. So the first thing we need to do is create a directory views under resources. We'll create a directory views under resources. And we will create our index.html file. And we'll just copy and paste this. And actually, we want a layout file, although, actually, we don't really need the layout file. I'm going to skip the layout file for now because we've only got one view. So I don't think we really need that. All right, so just replace this nonsense with a header that says home for now. Come back to our controller. And if we look at basically how views work in Micronaut, there's a couple different ways we can do it. We can either return an HTTP response. Actually, I'm sorry. We can return a model in view. And so let's do that. Let's change this method to return model in view. And we'll say new model in view. And the first argument is going to be the view name. And the second argument is going to be our model. So for now, we're just going to return an empty map. All right, and actually we'll set up a run configuration here. And we'll add T. So that should give us continuous builds. So every time we change that app, it should automatically reload for us. So we've got our server running. Let's test out. That we get a response. And we do. We get our HTML response. Excellent. That was quite easy, I would say. And actually, that's going to be mediatype.html. All right. Our app does not seem to be reloading. Is it a VM option that we need? I forget. No, doesn't like that. So here's what we'll do. We'll run it from the terminal. All right, so next thing we want to do is add another endpoint. And this one will be for, there we go. Look like it kicked off the automatic build there. So we need a candy endpoint. This one is going to return JSON. And we'll say produces JSON. And it's going to return a map. Think of strings. I don't know what status is. So we'll call it an object for now. We'll call this candy. Oh, we'll call this get candy. So we need to store status, speed, and gimme. So we will create private final string status, not final, private string speed, private string global. All right, so we just need to return status, whatever that is, which will be null here, but HTTP response. Okay, and then actually we're going to return an HTTP response, which contains a map. And we'll say collection utils.map of status. And we want to set gimme. It looks like he's setting gimme equals true. All right. So that will rebuild. That build failed. Boolean. Okay. So as that rebuilds, we should be able to, as soon as that builds, should be able to get a response from that. And it's null, probably because we'll just call it none. All right. So there's our candy endpoint. Now we need a query endpoint. That's going to return status and speed. I'm assuming that's going to be an integer. All right, so let's copy that. We're going to return status again, as well as speed. Oh, always trying to use those colons. All right, so we should have a query endpoint. Return status and speed, and it does. And if we take a look, we can see that we're getting back application JSON. So that's our get endpoints. That's all handled. We don't need a 404 because Micronaut will handle that. As we can see there, if we send something that's not a valid endpoint, Micronaut will return a 404. So on to our post endpoints. And for our post endpoints, we need one called auto. And we're going to send it. It looks like an object with speed in it. So here's what we'll do. We're going to create a simple Java class. We'll call it message. We'll mark it introspected so that Micronaut will take a look at it. We'll add a constructor. And we will add, what was the speed? Speed. Actually, let's do this. What else? Is there going to be anything else? Speed or status? So do we want to create two different objects? Yeah, why not? Because it looks like the only things we're going to be posting are speed or status, never together. So we'll refactor this. Actually, we'll call it auto command. And create our constructor. Create our getters and setters. And that's ready. So we're at a post endpoint for auto, which consumes JSON and produces JSON. And it's going to produce an HTTP response with a map called auto. And we will say auto command. So we'll type our parameter coming into that as auto command. That way, when we get that, we will, it will actually automatically be parsed. The JSON will be parsed and we'll have that Pojo object ready to work with. So we're going to set the status equal to auto command dot. Oh, you know what? We're going to set the speed to the auto command dot get speed. And speed. Then we're going to return status true. All right. So if we curl and we pass in speed 50 to the auto endpoint, set the header. We get status true. And if we query, get speed is 50. So cool. So we posted a speed of 50. It was persisted. We queried it. We returned 50. So far, so good. Next, we need a what to do endpoint, which sets a status. So we're going to create a what to do command. And we're going to refactor that to status. Okay. Oh, okay. And actually that is a string, I believe. And back to our controller. Copy that. Call it what to do. Oops. What to do command. And status equals what to do command .get status. And then we're going to return gimme equals gimme. All right. All right, so set the status equal that, return gimme equals gimme, set gimme equals false. So what I'm going to do here is create that map. And then set it to false. And then return, we'll call it gimme map. All right, so now we're going to post to what to do. Status. And gimme equals false. So where does gimme actually get set to true? It defaults to false. Okay, when we say candy, it goes to true. So let's do candy. Then gimme equals true. Reduce that again, it should be false. Excellent. All right. What else? That appears to be it. Let's take a look at the index.html page. We will copy, let's copy all of that. And well, this is server.ip. So it looks like he's substituting that in, but honestly, we don't need that, do we? Yeah, that should be it, right? curl localhost 8080. We get that. And just for fun, let's go localhost 8080. Yes, I did mean to go to that. Candy. Let's open up our dev tools. Get that. Okay, so that endpoint works. Let's go back and look at this actually. Yeah, not a fan of that. Not a fan of the XML HTTP request. I think it would be better. To use fetch. So we'll fetch candy. Set the response to JSON. All right. Data.status. That should be it, right? Let's go back here and reload. Okay, that worked. I still don't see where status is set. Do I? Status. What does he default it to? Status is green. What to do sets status, and we doing that? Yes. What to do sets status. Okay. What to do? I'm assuming what to do comes from the Arduino side of this project. Yeah. In fact, I'm probably pretty absolutely confident that it comes from that side because there's nowhere that it comes from in the front end. So let's change this guy to use fetch as well. For the auto endpoint, parse the data. We're not doing anything with it, so we'll console.log it. Yep. Oh, okay. So we're setting, I don't even think that this, yeah, this is not even used. It's commented out. Yeah, well, we'll say let body equals body equals that. I always forget if I'm doing this right with fetch. think that's right. Yep, that looks right. What else? Query. So this happens on page load. So what we'll do here is a self-executing function. And we'll fetch query. So that's a get. Response equals and then that so that should execute itself when the page loads. What's up, Chris?
Hey,
You're late. I'm done.
you're done?
Yeah. I just literally reloaded the page and I am done. So yeah, that's it. So I've implemented your whole server in Micronaut, and it took me what, 25 minutes.
Well, the hard part
So
was all the inventing it. I'm just kidding.
yeah, no, sure. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, obviously that's
no, that's rad.
no, yeah, I've got it all.
Why is my video
all
not
implemented
working?
in Micronaut. The hard part for me was interpreting the Python, because I don't use Python. Not that it's that difficult, but so I have a default endpoint that returns the view, and that is your index.html page, which is this. And I have a candy endpoint that returns a map containing the status. If I hit that, I get status green. I have a query endpoint, returns the status and the speed. I can post what to do. And then I can post auto, return status. And that's it. Yeah. So yeah.
And it served up the index too. You got the
yeah, the index endpoint just does curl localhost, just returns the HTML.
Nice. Wow.
Yep. And that's what it looks like in the browser. I click candy, I get status equals test. Hang on. Yeah, because I posted test to the status with curl. That's why. Yep, that's what I did. So I posted test right there, and it returned test as the status. So that's it. Yeah, your Candy server implemented in Micronaut and Java in 30 minutes. I can post this up on GitHub. I recorded this session if you want to go back and watch it and do the walkthrough. But yeah, all good. Java and Micronaut saved the day again.
That'll be great. Yeah, the Python it's quick and dirty, but it's not reliable.
Well,
it is definitely not fast. So, and I know Micronaut, and especially if you use Graal, you can get a native image, and there's all these benefits. So,
right.
I never meant to offend anyone with my post. It was just like I did this total hack. The whole thing has been a hack to do automatic candy dispensing. Halloween.
No, it's a cool idea for sure. So you 3D printed that and everything, and
yeah, I got to make one more modification to it, because the funnel, if you have little balls, because we got these chocolate balls, if you know anything about like grains of sand, they use air to I can't remember the effect, but it makes everything, it agitates everything so it flows. It makes us kind of a solid
laminar flow.
Laminar flow, that's it. Yeah. So I got to do laminar flow for this, but I didn't
Why do you have
time.
a giant ballast here?
What's that?
What is this giant ballast that you have?
Oh, that's a battery.
Oh, battery. Okay.
Yeah, it's a huge battery.
Looks like a ballast from like a fluorescent light, old like fluorescent light.
I see what you mean. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? No, it's just literally hacked together. And one of the things I tried to use the original controller I tried to use, I fried it. I followed their wiring diagram and it was wrong.
Always. Right.
And then I didn't have a second one. So then I went to a different motor controller. And anyway, you know the story with all that stuff. The specs weren't on the Adafruit.
That's why when we order things, we order them in multiples of 3.
I know.
At least.
At least. I usually do 5, but that's
right.
why I have tons of stuff. But anyway, it finally got it all wired up and wrote the stuff and got to the Java side. And I just haven't done enough Micronaut to get it where you did it. So
no problem. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's a cool project. I'll post this recorded link and I'll put this up in GitHub and you can take a look at it if you want to check it out more.
Awesome. Thanks. Are you going to reply to the tweet and stuff too, or?
Yep. I'll put it all up there. Right on.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd. All right. Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.